Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Don't see what's yours for the taking tonight. Ooh, show me your soul, baby. I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Can't you see it's way past time? How explicit do I have to be? And then I spell it out before you get it, baby. Show me your soul, and honey, I'll show you. I'll show you.
Good morning. Good morning to you. Yay, we're back. We're back. Oh, what a joy it is to be back here with you. Let me tell you, I mean it from here. I certainly do. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments, and I'm your host, Loren Harris. I am back from Las Vegas, and boy, talk about the city that never sleeps, or is that New York? The city that never sleeps. Well, they don't sleep in Vegas either. Just let me tell you that. At least I didn't. I'm not kidding you. I could sleep in Chicago. That's what I kept telling myself. But I paid for it yesterday because we got back. Thank God. Thank you all for all of your support, all of your encouragement. We truly appreciate it, and we felt you. We felt you uplifting us and supporting us. I guarantee you we did. So I want to pour that back into you like we do every day here on Bathrobe Moments. Our theme this year is Show Me Your Soul, and we will show you ours. That's what we do. We fulfill the promise every day together right here, wherein two or more of us comes together, something absolutely fantabulous will happen. I'm so excited to be back. What a time we had. Met some wonderful people, some beautiful things happened, saw some transformations in people's lives. I was touched and changed. I mean that from my heart. Friday night, the Gratitude Festival thing was just incredible. people came up and I interviewed them, and they had written on these scrolls all the things that they wanted to lose, get rid of, say goodbye to, those things that they felt were not serving them any longer. And what I witnessed was nothing short of miraculous. I want to encourage all of you today to do exactly what those people at the Gratitude Festival did at the Star Trek convention in Las Vegas, and that is get rid of those things that are weighing you down. That could be anything from a toxic person to a toxic situation to just something that is, a distraction more than an attraction. Can I get an amen? Okay. So we're going to talk more about that. We are on the 17th day of August today. Oh, you want to see? We have more pictures. Oh, yeah. Before I forget, Thursday, Daniel Echeverria is an associate producer at the network E360 TV, joined us, of course, as E360 was responsible for live streaming everything over the weekend. So we all had a great time together, and he's going to come on with me Thursday. We're going to give you our little travel log, show you all the photos. I mean, we got a boatload of them. When they tell you at Star Trek convention in Vegas, you see everything walking up and down the streets. You do, and we did. Yes, we did. I stopped every person I can. I would have my coffee at the bar, of course, because they, Anyway, I sat at the bar right where they came in, so everybody passed me. And so we have a lot of footage and a lot of great things to share with you all. So make sure you mark your calendars to join Dano and I here Thursday morning. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to leave that as a surprise, someone you've never seen before, and I'm glad that I'm going to be able to break that story here tomorrow. And then Friday, Giovanna Salas, the owner, the CEO, the publisher, the brainchild of Heart of Hollywood Motion Pictures, as well as Heart of Hollywood Magazine. She'll be with us on Friday talking about a lot of new things, and she's looking for some talent. We'll talk more about that as we get closer to Friday's show. So anyway, one of the things that really touched my heart this past weekend was speaking to people. This is what they do, Gaze in Space. They really did. They really have carved a niche, provided a safe space for people that feel that they don't belong anywhere. It really touched me. I'd never been that up close and personal and heard it directly from someone's mouth to my ears, how that makes them feel, to feel that there's no place for them. And I'm telling you, I'm not kidding you, that empath thing was raised more than a notch through that. I woke up the next morning, Brian can tell you, I had to just scoot close, and I've never done this. And I'm kidding you. I'm not kidding you. I really literally was crying because I think it was more so for the fact that I didn't know until then. I really didn't know. And with the work I do, you couldn't tell me day before this night that something like this even existed without me knowing it, but it did. So, you guys, that's why I can encourage us to have the conversation. Don't text everything. Don't email everything. Have that face-to-face, heart-to-heart, soul-to-soul conversation from time to time. I guarantee you it will change your life and hopefully help you to change someone else's. So there we go. So anyway, enough of that for right now. Kerry Duval is the wife of Adam Duval. You saw them here just a couple weeks ago, and we're bringing them back and forth because, a lot of us, we want to talk about things that have stigma attached to them, but we don't because they have stigma attached to them. One of those primary topics is mental health. And as one of the two pieces of the dynamic duo known as the Mental Health Warriors, I thought I'd bring Kelly, Lord Jesus. Now that really was a senior moment. Kerry, it's right there on the screen. I'm looking at it. Who's Kelly? Must be a Kelly coming in through the portal. One of the, if you know a Kelly, tell her to call me. So anyway, well, there are no mistakes, missteps, but never mistakes. So anyway, Kerry is here today, and we're just going to kick it. We're going to talk about what we need to talk about. So without further ado, you guys put your hearts into the screen, put some hearts on the screen, and let's have a great conversation today regarding mental health as we bring to our stage our guest today from the UK. It's mid-afternoon there. I don't know what day, but it's mid-afternoon. Here she is, Kerry Duval. Hello, Kerry. Where's your sound? Mm-hmm. And you've been sitting there patiently, so I know. Boy, I wish I could read lips. I can't. What happened to your sound, girl? You had it a minute ago. Go out and come back in. Go out and come back in. It doesn't say you're muted or anything. Y'all know what that is. Every time something like that happens, it's something trying to get in the way of something good, right? We're not going to have it. Not going to have it. Send lots of light, love, and sound energy. Send some sound energy. Let me go into the comments while we're waiting on Kerry and just say hello to everyone. I missed you guys. Sherry McQueen, that was so sweet of you. Sherry was worried because yesterday, first time ever. I mean, I've had reruns, of course, when we're on the road or can't get to, the show, but never have I just no-showed. But let me tell you what happened. We got back around 10 something on Sunday evening, and I think Brian told me he thinks I only got about 5 hours of sleep the whole time we were gone. I didn't realize it. I really didn't, because you're so energized. Well, the energy was sucked out of that vacuum yesterday because I slept, I think, 12 or 13 hours straight. And back today, good as ever. I think Kerry's back. Let's see. Kerry?
Hiya.
Oh, there you go. I don't know what that was.
No idea. Technology.
I'm going to learn how to speak like you. You'll see. Keep talking. I'll have it. Hopefully by the end of the show. How are you? And tell everybody where you're at in the world. I'm going to back us up a little bit. You're in the UK. Where in the UK?
We're in Lancashire, England.
Lancashire?
Yep.
That doesn't even sound right, does it, when I say it?
No, it's Lancashire. Lancashire.
Okay. All right. I'll let you tell it. So, Kerry, tell us a little bit about about you. Give us some of your backstory, where it all started. When did mental health become something paramount in your life? And if you can, kind of open the door to that for us.
Yeah. Mental health for me started when I was in high school. I got bullied all the way through high school. I got told I was fat and I was ugly. Nobody else had ever loved me. I'd never have a partner in my life or anything. I'd be the crazy cat lady on Simpsons with loads of cats. They're not wrong about the cats. I do love cats. But I've got a loving husband. I've got 2 beautiful kids. And that's when mental health started. And then when I lost my nana 3 years ago, that's when I sunk to my lowest and I attempted suicide. And thankfully, Adam, my partner, he helped me realise that now's the time to start facing the things that I'd not faced before and to come out fighting. And I've never looked back since. I've bettered my life as much as I can, step by step.
And you continue to do so day by day. I'm witness to that because I watch a lot of the stuff you two do. So, Kerry, let's back the car up, could we? Back to when you were bullied in high school. Around what age is that? Do you remember?
All the way through high school and primary school, for that matter. So from about 7 right up to 16 when I left. So
how often was it? Was it a daily thing, a weekly thing?
Every day.
So how did you deal with it? Most kids, we get up and we're getting dressed and we can't wait to get there because when you're a kid, school is your universe. It's where all your friends and everything takes place. So did you dread getting dressed to go to school every day?
Yeah, I did.
What would you say to yourself to make you enable you or empower you to even get that far? What did you reach for?
Well, I did have like a group of friends. So I was just thinking, as if I can just get to school and be with my friends, they can make the day better.
Did you ever tell adults about this bullying?
Yeah.
And
nothing was done.
What would they say to you?
They basically talked to me about what was going on, they'll talk to the people involved. They did talk to them, but nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
Yeah. They were useless.
I'm always looking for balance in every situation, where there's a yin, there's a yang, where there's a left, there's a right. So you had these people that were bullying you, but what was the balance equation like when it came to people that you didn't know who weren't in your tight-knit group, but they were nice did you find those? Did those people? Did anyone ever see this happening and come over and say, "I'm sorry, this is happening for you or to you," or that sort of? No one
No, not in school.
ever.
Out of school, not in school, never. Out of school, I found a group of friends that one person in particular came over and said, "You don't have to take this." And obviously pulled me away, and I started chatting to her, and I entered her circle of friends, and I found my happy place there. But that wasn't till I was about 12.
About 12. So
Yeah.
what did you think was wrong with you that made people do all this? Did you carry it as if it were your issue? I'm sure you probably did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that it was my fault that I wasn't as skinny as the other kids, that I wasn't, that I didn't have the same hair colour as the other kids, that I wasn't as nice looking as the other kids. It was all my fault.
So when you found your own tight little group, usually it's other misfits, right? Like, a lot of when I was in high school, it was the band people, the band geeks, that sort of a thing. They all hang together and that sort of thing. So when you found these people who became your close knit friends circle, did you guys talk about how this felt? Did you encourage each other not to go to that dark place? And did you guys talk about suicide attempts and things? Because usually
No.
you just kept that stuff secret. What did you guys talk about?
It was mostly boys, music, what we're doing that weekend.
Just normal kid stuff.
Yeah, just normal everyday teenage girl things.
But most of these kids were being bullied just like you.
A couple of them was, yeah.
A couple.
A
Did you
couple
ever
of
talk
them-
about that as a group?
No,
Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. We got in our little circle and we brought in a few boys as well. So there was a mix of girls and boys. And we found that the boys we were mixing with were a lot different to the boys at school that were doing the bullying. So we quickly found out that there are different types of men out there. Some are just plain a-holes who are there to bully girls. But then some of them can be real gentlemen. And you've got to find the gentleman among the horrible people.
Mm-hmm. Something I've heard from people, and it seems consistent, people that were bullied back, in the early parts of their journey, the early stages, that they found that they sometimes were more able to stand up for others, than themselves. They couldn't just stand by. They may not stand up, say, "Hey, quit treating me like this," but they would jump in front of the bullet for someone else. Did that ever happen with you?
Yeah.
Okay, talk about that. Why do you think it was easier for you to stand up for someone else, but then allow it to happen to you?
I have no idea. I saw another girl being bullied the same way I was being bullied, and I was able to go over and tell them to stop bullying her. It's not nice, and she's better than them, and they're just cowards for bullying her. But I was never able to do that myself.
Okay. Yeah, and I was the opposite. I wouldn't stand up for myself, but I would surely stand up for the smaller, the quieter, the weaker, all the time, all the time. It's so interesting how we all process that. So moving a little bit further down the sidewalk of your journey. So now let's say you're going into adulthood, you're out of school, you're on your own, you're entering the workforce. That bullying that you experienced in school, did the scent of bullying, the essence of bullying, completely stop from school to adulthood, or did it carry over and you found people in the workplace when you started?
When I came out of school, I was with my now ex-boyfriend, and he took over the bullying. So he started being the bully in my life, which was there every day. And then he joined the army and obviously vanished a little bit. And when I lost my granddad, I found the courage to stand up to him and end that relationship.
So you started dating a bully?
He wasn't a bully when I started dating him. He was nice. But then after I finished school, that's when he turned.
Why do you think that happened?
The army.
Oh, you think the army?
The army.
What, he got in there and got cocky? A little bit of ego took over?
Yeah, it turned him from the nice person that I knew into a complete asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So tell us, in your opinion, since you've been doing a little bit of research, a lot of interviewing people and just getting in there and mixing it up with experts who deal with this sort of thing every day. So why do you think it is that certain people need to feed off of being mean-spirited to other people? What is it you think they're looking for that they really don't get even after they've bullied their way?
I think a lot of it has to do with finding something that amuses themselves. They probably get bullied themselves. They want to bully other people to try and put that energy away from themselves onto somebody else. Mm-hmm. And that's my opinion anyway.
Yeah. So as far as this mental health thing goes, was there ever a time when you were ashamed to even speak about mental health, anything as far as it related to yourself, because of the stigma society places on it? You're shaking your head. So tell us about that. How difficult was it for you to get started just trying to do better, as you said earlier?
Well, obviously, I was self-harming as a teenager, and I hid that from everybody. Nobody knew about it.
What were you doing?
I was cutting myself.
You were cutting yourself. Now let's talk about that, because we hear about a lot of teenagers and people who do that, and they say, most of us have a surface understanding at best of that, and I think most of us would say, okay, that's a person who is hurting so deeply inside that the physical cutting is the only thing that can help them cope with it. It kind of takes it off of that, even momentarily. So is that what you were doing?
Yeah. Basically, I would feel like I wanted to cry. I wanted to vent the anger, and then I'd start cutting, and it would take me 3, 4, 5 times cutting myself before I actually felt something and forced myself to cry. And when I started crying, that's when the cutting stopped, because then I'd just cry my anger out. I'd force myself to feel something. It sounds really weird, I know, and no, I don't know how it works.
It doesn't sound weird. It's just, wow. So, okay, so they're cutting and you may not be deep. And would you bleed?
Yeah.
And where would you cut?
On my arms.
On your arms, so that you could conceal it?
Yeah.
Did it leave any scars?
I've got a few scars, yeah.
So what do you think now when you look down at those scars? What do they represent to you today?
They represent the journey I've been on to be the person that I am now.
You kill me with your short and sweet. You got some short answers. I'm gonna have to turn your answers into chewing gum so I can stretch them out a little bit. You're gonna wear me out on this job, Kitty. So, Kerry, I'm really feeling this conversation, because I love the fact that you're so vulnerable about these things, and I appreciate that. Let me ask you this: when you had that thing, you couldn't cry, you needed to, and so you reached for cutting. Did you go to cutting because you heard of other kids cutting, or this and the other, or how did that come about as the choice? Why don't they slap themselves? Why don't you just knock your head against a wall or something? What is it about the actual cutting? Because they have to strap me down just to take blood, needles, anything that can. Not me.
Blood never really bothered me. It never has. I think it started with, I'd fallen over, and I'd obviously caught my leg on something on the floor, and I didn't feel anything. So I sort of thought,
you literally did not feel any pain?
No.
See, I didn't know that.
No.
I didn't know that was a part of cutting, that they literally could not feel pain.
No. And then obviously I sort of picked up a piece of glass that I found, and I started cutting my arm, and I didn't feel anything at first. And then it wasn't till about 4 or 5 cuts in that I started to feel something. I felt a sharp pain, and that's what made me cry.
So it was just as if it were numb.
Yeah, I felt really numb. Yeah.
When you started learning about this cutting process, what did they, how did they explain? They meaning the books, or maybe you spoke with someone like a therapist or a counselor. How does the pain volume get turned all the way down to the point where you're so much, you're mentally in pain so deeply that you can't feel physical? Did they explain to you how what turns off in order for that to happen, to be possible?
No. No.
Anybody out there know? Anyone? Put in there. That just, I don't understand that part. How it's that the mind is a powerful thing.
Yeah, yeah. From what I can fathom out, because I was being bullied on a daily basis and because of all the shit that was going on in my life, something in my head was basically dealing with too much, and I just felt numb, and all feeling just disappeared. And me doing the cutting was how I got the feeling back.
You know, it's very interesting to me because so many of us, you know, when we're in pain, that's all we want is to not feel. And here you could not feel, but something inside of you, some preservation, something wanted you to understand you have to be connected to feeling, So how did you stop the cutting?
When I lost my granddad.
Talk about that.
My granddad had been ill with cancer for about 2 years. Mm-hmm. We knew it was going to happen, but then obviously when it did happen, it was still a shock. And I think it was losing my granddad. My dad woke me up in the middle of the night to say that he'd had a phone call from the hospice that he was in and he'd gone. Thankfully, it was peaceful. He went peacefully in his sleep. Mm-hmm. But it was that made me stop.
So just instantly, you were able to stop?
Yeah.
Was that
it's so like something in there made me stop.
So you were able to feel when he died, and yes. Then you didn't have the problem crying. Never. So the tears have never dried up since then?
No.
How interesting. How interesting. Okay, when we get back from this short break, we're going to talk to Kerry about what she and her husband, Adam Duval, are doing from their side of the table to help people understand that it's okay to not be okay, and how we can all, by sharing our stories, help remove the stigma that society has placed on just that, mental health. We all have it. And we all need to do better. More when we return. Don't go away.
Except I received this insight about a title called Prisoner of War. The book.
Well, all right then. Welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Loren Harris, and we're here with Kerry Duval today talking about mental health issues. Now, you may have noticed the commercial you just saw for a brand new book by author John Akonda, all about the mental health journey. Now, this is a book that is a fiction book written in the future. I think it's 2032 or something like that, where the entire world is being taken over by a pandemic of mental health issues. And it's a really great read with a lot of real life current resources and different things that can help just clear the cobwebs away as wherein it pertains to understanding your own mental health. Now, the wonderful thing about this book, and I'm going to drop it into the comments here as we get into it. Let's see, here it is. It's along the bottom. I'm going to let it run. If you go to that link, and I'm also going to, let's see, there it is up there. If you, I wonder if I can snatch that. Okay, I have it. Sherry, can you drop it in the comments for me? I love you, Sherry. She's so good. But my point is, this book is great because if you only have $3, you can donate $3. Whatever you feel is your mission or whatever it is you can do responsibly, please get the book, donate, and help raise awareness for mental health and how we can do better. Welcome back, Kerry. That is a great book by John Akonda. I'm not kidding you. It truly, truly is. So let's talk about how you made the transition. You already told us about your grandfather's death and you were able to cry. So have you ever gone for counseling or therapy or group sessions? What was it that started the pathway where you had something around you, a support system? Talk about support system and how important that is to the healing within our own mental health issues.
It was when I met Adam, when I realised that I've got the support in my life now, and I slowly built it up from there. But it wasn't till I lost my nana 3 years ago that I started on the journey I'm on right now. Teaching myself about mental health, raising more awareness about mental health, and obviously becoming the warrior that I am right now.
So okay, and I love that, warrior, because you're not playing with it. You're willing to go out there and just give it all, leave it all out there on the stage. So what, in your opinion, have you found, dealing with the people and talking and speaking with different people all over the world, what is the number one reason that so many won't do anything about it or are afraid to do anything about it, as in they can't do anything about it, or they think they can't, because we always can? What is the one thing? Have you heard what if there was a number one thing that people say, this is my biggest challenge? What are you hearing?
Talking to family, talking to friends, they're worried about being judged. There's so much stigma around mental health. So when people say they're feeling down, they're feeling a bit rubbish, and it's getting to the point where it's physically stopping them from being able to enjoy their lives, they're feeling like they can't open up to family and friends because they'll get called horrible names like, oh, you're such a pussy, man up, sort of thing. And it's that's making people not talk about it. Yeah,
right. Okay, you really are a warrior, because you can put it on out there, then, girl, put it out there. So how do we not listen to the nastiness coming from other people's mouths and actions? How do we stop that from sticking to us like some melted piece of gum on the sidewalk? I mean, it's easy to say to someone, but when you're there and you're the recipient, it isn't always that easy.
Yeah. Positive affirmations. There's so many positive affirmations out there. You've got to find one that is good for you. One that I like is, we have to go through shit in our lives in order to grow. And that's from Karen Unruh, which a warrior that I work with.
Yeah.
She's due on your show, I believe.
She is on the 26th, Thursday. I just peeked. Yes. And I got the right week this time. So yeah. Inside joke, you guys. Yes, she will be here. And I love Karen already. I saw her on your show, you and Adam's show. So what do you guys tell us about this? You have a podcast, a live stream. Tell us about what you're doing and where we can find it.
Warrior TV on YouTube. The links in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Facebook, we are the Mental Health Warriors. We're also on LinkedIn and TikTok, the Mental Health Warriors again. But I haven't dropped you the link because I haven't got the link to TikTok.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the Mental Health Warriors, there's a bunch of people in that group.
Yeah. There's me and Adam, and then we've got Steve Knapp in Australia. He's our mindset warrior. We've got Kerry Bear, our human GPS. They host shows alongside me and Adam. They'll pull me and Adam onto their shows. Steve Knapp last week interviewed me. The week before he interviewed Adam. And they're brilliant interviews. We've got a few other people as well that are still up and coming in the group. They're not quite got their own shows yet, but we're hoping one day they will have their own shows. Yvonne Doherty, Dorota Chimnera, I might have pronounced her name wrong, but Sharon Chamello.
I know Sharon.
Yeah. And then we did have J.R. Reid, one of your friends, but personal differences, he stepped aside for now. Maybe he'll come back, we don't know.
Okay. So let's talk about this part of the rabbit hole, if you will. It's a big thing. It's a huge apple to be trying to gnaw your way to the core. Mental health is just so broad. It's so deep. What are your hopes? And are we making a difference?
Yeah, we are. By doing this, connecting with people around the world, we are making a difference, because if we can get these videos out to as many people as possible, we can show the world the faces of people with mental health problems, and we can stop the stigma around it. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to feel rubbish, you know? But when it gets to the point where it's stopping you from enjoying your life, that's when you need to reach out and say, right, okay, I need help. And you're not a wuss for asking for help. You're actually a very strong person to be able to ask for help. And we want to encourage as many people to come forward, talk about their problems, talk about their journeys, in order to raise awareness for other people.
I agree. And one of the things that I believe in, I want to hear how you feel about this personally, is what I love about having the conversation and having a safe space for people to have those conversations is it's another option. Because I know when I went to, speak to someone for the very first time regarding mental health, it was not even 5 minutes into the conversation, and they were writing me a prescription for lithium that they said I'd have to take for the rest of my life. And so I walked out. I paid my little $65 or whatever it was, and I left. Let's talk about that, about, how people can understand. You have to be careful because big pharma, and that sort of thing, insurance companies and all of this, a lot of people will reach for a pill to fix their mental health, or they think it will, before they will have conversations and work through it organically. Let's put it that way. So how do you feel about the difference between pharmaceutical versus organic healing through mental health issues? Because I don't believe we're ever completely, you see what I'm saying? I think that would be a dumb move to think just because you're on the other side and I'm feeling great, that you don't have to maintain. It's like losing 100 pounds and thinking I lost it, I can do anything I want, it's never coming back. That's not realistic. Talk about that.
A lot of people do reach for pills. They go to the doctor, they tell them that they're feeling rubbish, and there's so many antidepressants out there now with lots of different names, and doctors are now obviously over-prescribing antidepressants. So it needs to come back to a lot of natural remedies. So not just talking to people, but then there's aromatherapy that you can try. There's meditation that you can try.
Yeah.
They're just two options. Adam's currently trying aromatherapy and he's finding it brilliant. There's essential oils which can help you massively with lots of different things.
I have peppermint right now because I have ADHD and it helps.
Yeah, exactly. And essential oils don't just help with mental health, they can also help with certain disabilities as well. So you don't have to reach for the medication. There is other options. You just have to trust in yourself to try these other options out and put the tablets down, because you can find that you can get addicted to the tablets. which is going to be drag you down the road towards suicide, and that's what we don't want. We want to try and pull as many people as we can away from suicidal thoughts.
Yes, yes, especially, survivors of PTSD, a lot of suicidal thoughts up in there,
Yes.
depression, a lot of suicidal thoughts up in there, a lot of different avenues to that same horrible rabbit hole. So, comparatively speaking, I don't know how much you know about this, but you live in the UK, we live here in the US. When you look at how we deal with mental health issues over here in the way we talk about it or the lack thereof, how does it compare to what's happening over on your side of the pond?
I don't think there's a lot of difference between the UK and the US. We speak to quite a few people in America, and from what we're being told, they are similar on both sides. Yeah.
Because you guys have your insurance and stuff. It's free, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's free there. A lot of people here don't have it, or they have limited insurance that will cover this or not cover that. So I would think you guys would have a better ratio of healthier minds and spirits and hearts of mental health issues, because people don't have to pay for their health care. How is it so similar when a lot of people use the lack of insurance as an excuse, or a reason rather, or justification is probably a better way of saying it, for not getting professional help?
The reason that it's about the same is because when you approach your doctor for mental health help, it then refers you on to the mental health services. You'll get an appointment speaking to somebody pretty much straight away, but then there's a lengthy wait. Adam wants trauma therapy, and he's been told he's going to have to wait 6 months for this therapist to get to him on the list. So the waiting list to see a therapist is very, very long. And when it's 6 month waiting list, that's when you feel like, I'm completely on my own now. I can't access any help. And with Adam, we're now ditching it, and we're trying to find someone private. So we're going to pay for him to access that help he needs now, rather than wait 6 months' time.
Then wait. And I love that. That's a really important part. I'm glad you touched on that, because if you're waiting on someone to do something and it's not moving, then I think we need to go deeper and believe that there still will be a way, and keep trudging ahead, and don't wait, because tomorrow is not promised to anyone. And so I appreciate that candor. Let me ask you, you have children, right? Do you ever see anything in their behavior and you go, that could be ADHD, or that could be whatever? And if so, what do you do as a mom? What's the first go-to for you wherein it pertains to your own children? What do you reach for?
When we had those concerns with Lucas, we spoke to school. Well, it was nursery then. We spoke to nursery, and then obviously school when he did move up to school. And we voiced our concerns, and they monitored him for a few days, about a week. And then they come back and they said, they're seeing a lot of the same things. We went to see the paediatrician, and we had to wait 3 months to see the paediatrician. And she had a couple of appointments with him, did a few little assessments with him, and said he needs assessing for autism. And then it was an 18-month gap between that appointment and the actual diagnosis of autism. So and there was lots of little appointments in between them.
18 months. And so Lucas was diagnosed as being on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And so then what did they tell you? Did they define what area?
No.
So, because there's so many different forms of autism.
Yeah, there is.
So you still don't know which form Lucas is dealing with?
No. We think he's on the high side because he can communicate with us. He's very bright with his maths. With his maths, he's on high school level maths.
Wow.
Yeah, he can do high school level. So
high school level math?
Yeah.
And how old is he?
He's 9.
Wow.
Yeah. There's something called Pythagoras theorem. Now, obviously, I didn't come across this till like year 10 in high school.
Right.
So that's like the last couple of years of high school. And he can already do it. And he's only going into year 5 when he goes back in a few weeks.
5th grade. Wow, that's amazing. So let's talk about this. When people are looking for a safe place or space in which to just listen, maybe critically listen to other people's stories, to maybe pick up things like, well, that sounds like what we're thinking may be going on with whomever, even myself. Not all groups are equal. What would you suggest to someone who is looking for a place where they may find like-minded people, and it's safe and it's respectful? What would you suggest? What are some of the earmarks, some of the things you look for to know that this is a good place, a healthy place to proceed with your search for doing better? Word of mouth, Google.
It can be a variety of things. You can start by speaking to family and friends if you want to, but then going to the doctor and asking if there's any groups around. Yeah, you can use Google. You can have a look on Facebook. There's mental health groups on there are filled with people who have gone through similar things, who are willing to advise you on what's out there. But then you can also come to the Mental Health Warriors, and we can help you as well.
There you go. There you go, everybody. And what are your hopes? What are your hopes by doing all this? Because I know you don't get paid to do this or anything. So what is your hope for all this work you're doing, your investment in this?
My hope as I go forwards is that I can move into doing mental health work professionally, so I can basically earn my money away from here, but then online I can carry on the fantastic work I'm doing to raise awareness and end the stigma of mental health. Just by doing this, having conversations with people around the world, sharing their stories and saying to the world, look, even though these people have got mental health, they are still people, and without that label attached, they have fantastic stories to tell, and they are so feisty as well because they have come through the really dark times that they've been through, and they've been able to come back and fight back and turn their lives completely around to the point where they're wanting to help other people. It takes a lot of strength to go from that dark place of suicide to where I am right now, talking to the world about what I've been through.
I agree. I absolutely agree, and I commend you for that. So for that person who is feeling all the things that come with that heavy, wet, wool, dark, depressing blanket, that holds you down and tells you don't get out of bed, don't turn on the lights, don't open the blinds, just lay here and just wallow in it. What do you say to that person who says, yeah, well, that's nice for Kerry, but I don't think it'll work for me. She doesn't know what I'm dealing with. Nothing's ever going to work for me. You remember that place where it just seems so dark, so heavy, so dimsel, so despair-filled that you just have talked yourself into not believing in anything. What do you say to that kind of a person, somebody that could be nearing or already there, that might help start the treadmill of the return?
Yeah. If you can get out of bed in the morning and make your bed and then just stand there and look at it, that it might seem stupid, but that one small achievement of making your bed in the morning can start a roller coaster of positive things throughout that day. So just by doing that one simple, stupid sounding task, it can make your day a good one.
Right.
Being able to get up and get dressed, make your bed, that's 2 tasks. And if you can do those 2 tasks, you can take the day on. Whatever comes, you'll be able to take it on.
I agree, and I believe you 1,000%. So when we talk about this valued life, okay, Go back to, remember when you said they told you you would never be loved, you would never find a partner, all these different things. When you decided that that was a lie, okay, what was the very next step you took personally to create the valued life that you live in today? There was no Adam yet. There were no two beautiful children yet. There was only the Kerry that was there. What did you say to her every day to keep her vested in believing that you would have the valued life you live today before there was any proof?
I told myself that life would always get better, that there's no way that this is what life was meant to be like, that I was on a journey going somewhere, I just didn't know the destination yet. And I wanted to tell myself when I started to tell myself that I needed to get up every morning. I needed to go through the motions of the day and see what's out there and grab every opportunity I can. Then I went on to the entry to employment course, which I thought that might help me go on to something. And that's when I met Adam. So I went to my therapist. I was talking to my therapist when I found out about the course, and something in the corner of my eye made me turn and look at the poster, and I found Adam through that poster. So something in the air told me I've got to go for it.
And aren't you glad you did?
I am.
So let's switch gears if we could. So here you are, you're inside your valued life. Now we want people to understand that that doesn't mean that you still don't have those days, those mornings where you wake up and it's like, uh-oh, I feel that shackle around me that wants to keep me down today. A lot of people believe that when we're sitting in these chairs, it means that we're anxiety free, that we are depression free, that we are speed bump free, and we're not. We have learned how to cope / manage, the situation. And if we can't, hopefully we've been smart enough to put resources and friends and supporters around us that know us well enough. So in order for the people around us in our support systems to know the signs, that doesn't sound like Loren. That's unlike him. Let me make sure he's okay. I do that. I have lots of friends that do that for me and with me and call on me to help them do it for another one of our friends. What I'm talking about is when we realize, wait a minute, some kind of little intervention needs to go on here. So how important is it to have a circle of influence that is allowed to have access to us when we can't be there for ourselves?
Well, when I have those dark days, obviously, I've got Adam around me, but then other people haven't got that. And for those people who haven't got that, I'd always make sure that when you are on a good day, that you always have somebody that you can turn to. So then on those dark days, you can turn to that person and say, I feel a bit rubbish. There are steps you can put in place. So another one that we suggest to people is when you are out and about, and this one is for anxiety, when you are out and about facing the world, tackling that anxiety, take a picture of something, even just a coffee cup that's in front of you, or something stupid in front of you, to remind yourself that I did it that day, I can do it again. #never quit. And maybe have positive affirmations, maybe on your bedroom mirror, on your bathroom mirror, next to your wardrobe, so that you can look at them every day. Me and Adam have got a mental health wall in our bedroom, and when we're feeling down and rubbish, we look at that mental health wall. It's full of positive affirmations, and we tell ourselves we might be feeling down, we might be feeling rubbish today, but tomorrow is a brand new day, and tomorrow we can start the ball rolling again.
See, I get it, and I think that's absolutely brilliant. I really do. And that's a great thing to think about doing, those of us who need that little extra thing. That's exactly why I have a wall of purpose. I keep the future, the possibilities right in front of me. And I surround myself with manifestations, proof that works over there, because everything back here started over there. Where do we stay? The only place we can truly affect change from, the here and the now, right? So what about this one? Has there ever been a day where you and Adam landed in the depression hole at the same time?
Yeah.
Then what happens when you both are looking at each other going, I don't give a damn, me either. You know, what happens then? Who comes to the rescue?
Well, that one particular time that it has happened, and it has only ever happened once, we ignored our phones, and then just cuddled each other, spoke to each other, put a film on, ate some junk food, and let the day pass. And we just enjoyed a bit of company together, sort of being each other's rock, if you will. And then the next morning, I felt a bit better, so I was able to get up and go through the motions of the day and help Adam get back to his feet.
So even with two beautiful children, that inspiration that, you know, they say, you know, when you're a parent, there's nothing you can't or won't do for your child. But
Yeah,
sometimes even in those dark, you know, especially so in those dark moments, even then, that isn't enough for some people.
Yeah, it's not.
Right? Have you ever felt that, and the guilt that comes with what kind of mother am I?
Yeah.
That I can't put myself, you know, I put myself in front of my, you know, talk about that, because that's normal, but a lot of people, that's an added layer of guilt and shame that really doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, personally, I've been there a few times. I felt down, I felt rubbish. I wanted to kill myself. And yeah, I felt guilty because I should have been able to be strong enough for my children. But being strong for too long wears you down, and then it's something tells you, you know, you need to take some time for yourself. And it's okay to, when the kids are in bed at night times, to kick back with a glass of wine or a bottle of beer, watch something stupid on Netflix or something. Me and Adam do that at night time. When the kids are in bed, have a bottle of beer, watch something stupid, and to take our minds off everything, take our minds off the world. And it's okay to do that, because sometimes you need to take a step back and think, me time, I need my self-care, and self-care is important. It's a priority.
Very important. And on that, we have about 2 minutes left, Kerry. Let's close out with this one, the power of you. How important is it for us to understand that we must give ourselves permission to do what you just explained, to just, you know, sometimes just have that glass of wine or whatever. How important is it, in your opinion, for a person, for us, for all of us to understand that we hold the key? We, you know, we drive the car, we pull the switch, the lever, or whatever you want to call it. How important is it to understand that?
It's super important, because if you don't put yourself first, you can't look after yourself. How are you supposed to look after your kids?
Or anyone else.
Exactly.
Correct.
Also, it's okay to, when the kids are in bed at night time, or when they've gone to school, to kick back and think, ignore the cleaning up. I need some me time. Put on that favourite piece of music. Put on that favourite television programme or a film, and just kick back for an hour and relax. Or even just, and yeah, I'm guilty about doing this as well, go to the pub during the day and have half a pint with something to eat when the kids are at school.
There you go.
It's perfectly fine.
That's fine. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. Be good to yourself, and you can find your way to being good to others. Again, Kerry, always a pleasure. Thank you so much, you guys. Remember, write this down, the Mental Health Warriors on Facebook. Find out what they're doing over there. You may not feel it's for you, but if you know when someone you see needs a resource, you'll have something to pay it forward with. All of us has, you know, mental health something. You know, we always do. Let's just face it. And the way that we can get through a lot quicker, a lot better, and a lot more long lasting is to be there and have these conversations that are candid, vulnerable, transparent, but true with each other.
Yeah. And always remember, #never quit.
Never quit. Listen, you guys, the truth will never change, and it'll never change on you. So find your truths, celebrate them, and always, always, always go where you are celebrated and not where you're just tolerated. That's from me to you. We'll see you all tomorrow morning for our next installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'll meet you tomorrow morning out front at 8 a.m. Central on the front porch, and we'll do it all again. Kerry, thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. You guys get out and be the blessing in the world that you'd like to receive from the world. Remember, together we can do everything. Alone, not so much. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Loren Harris. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
God bless you. Bye-bye, all.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How explicit do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine.